Poverty hurts, man, and it makes us sick. Poverty hurts. Poverty. You haven't opened up the fridge knowing there's nothing in there and find yourself opening the shit up again. Like, just think about the psychology. When you know there was nothing in it 5 minutes ago, you say, let's just check this shit again. But you see, that type of stress produces toxins in your body. Stress. You find money and it produces what's called oxytocin. Oxytocin is called the truth hormone or the bonding hormone. It's produced when a woman holds her baby and hugs the baby. Oxytocin is produced. Oxytocin is produced when the child sucks on her nipple to suckle or to get breast milk. And it causes her to have a higher inclination to bond with her child. And you're designed that way. So when the baby sucks on your nipple, as a woman, it causes a bond between the mother and the child. It was designed that way. But if we don't understand the psychology and our physiology, then you let brothers who are no good for you suck on your nipple and you wind up establishing a chemical bond to them. So when I say, what black women, you need to guard your titties. And you see one of those beautiful black men that look like they was in soul food or waiting to exhale. And you put a cross on your chest. I'm so serious, look it up. Letting people suck on your titties can be very dangerous because oxytocin is produced when the nipple is nibbled on. And it causes you to bond with whoever you're allowing to be on your nipple. So you may have a nigga beating the hell out of you, you just can't get enough. Not realizing chemically you're attached to the person. That was there for you as a mother so you would have a bond to the child. So you can behave more like a protective being for your child. You may find somebody may be just completely toxic to you, but you just can't find a way to disassociate yourself from them. And never understand it. If you want to get away from that man that's no good for you, block your titties. This is the name of the game. And it sounds crazy, but this information is actually true. It sounds crazy. But that oxytocin gives you a chill up your spine. It makes you connect with the experience or the person. So like when you find $10 on the floor, and you don't want no one to see, and you make the effort to step on it and make sure nobody sees you, and now your foot is on top of the 10 and you just watching your back to make sure no one's seeing this, and now you start dragging your foot like a zombie, and what's left of that $10, when you get the freedom to pick it up and you see a whole $10, you get a high. It's called oxytocin, and endorphins also secrete. You get an actual high from finding money. So when you're making money, you actually get a metaphysical high or a chemical high, making money. This is true. Making money gives you a high. So what do you think it does to you when you're in debt? And then you beseech that same excitement. Same word. When you found that money, all of us has found money in this room before, right? It was an amazing feeling. Most of the time it was only like $1, and it was still an amazing feeling. Like niggas are looking up, and niggas looking at me like it's just $1. Like I'm like, shit is looking up. God sent this for me. This is divine. It's a revelation. But you know the most flyest part about finding the dollar? It's the search for the next one. Because after you find money, you know you lit up, you open. Like for the next 2 weeks, you'll be watching every time someone gets up, every time a car moves, you'll be watching everything that you see. Because it's a high. It's the same thing that's inside of crack. The experience that you feel as a woman when you breastfeed, the experience that you get when you find money, is the same chemical that's produced as a stimulant that gives you an incentive to be high when you make money. So everybody's on drugs. And if I say they on drugs, then they're not making money, they're depressed. And they're looking for a stimulant to supplant that or suppress it. See, I got a DVD, it's called a direct correlation between bad food consumption and disease. And disease is not inherited, bad habits are. You don't inherit disease, you inherit bad habits that put you in the lane to get the disease of your predecessor. If you're going to eat the same food in the same area that your predecessors had, then of course you're going to wind up with the same disease. It's science. You never changed the environment. You never added new variables or took variables out. So what you expect to happen? So what are we talking about? For every taste craving that you have, there's an emotion associated with it. You don't have a sweet tooth because you like sugar. You have a sweet tooth because you feel like you're not being loved. On Valentine's Day, we give people sweets because sugar is associated with love. This is true. So most of our community is suffering from what? Diabetes. Because your mother left you, your father left you, your man cheated on you, your woman cheated on you. So you want to smoke a cigarette. And inside of cigarettes, what's addictive is not the nicotine. It's the sugar they put in it. Now you can do a Google search and you'll see they put maple syrup and plum juice into cigarettes. Crack is a big bowl of sugar. Crack is a giant domino bag stepped on by someone obese and put into a 12-12 slip and served to the people. Crack is a big ball of sugar. Cigarettes is a sugar craving. Alcohol is a sugar craving. And if you have an emotion that goes unresolved, you now beseech a temporary remedy. It's called an appetite. When the emotion is not dissolved and you don't find no resolve for the emotion, that emotion corresponds with an appetite. So you can suppress the anxiety momentarily. But if you go for too long with that unresolved issue, that craving that you have will transmute into disease. So I can be out here seeing nothing but beautiful, voluptuous women that never talk to me. And after a while, it's going to overwhelm me in my lust. So I'm going to need an aphrodisiac to suppress the lust or the sex anxiety. What corresponds with this luster? Fish, as an example. Fish is an aphrodisiac. Fish is an aphrodisiac. So I'll say, hey, what up, Mom? And she don't talk to me. I'm like, damn, that girl beautiful. What up, Mom? She don't talk to me. Damn, that girl beautiful. What up, Mom? And all throughout the day, I'm talking to women and they ain't talking back to me. I need to get some fish and chips. And I don't even know why I'm craving fish and chips. Oh yeah, I was slick, because the second I found out this was a sexual stimulant, I was buying my wife Red Lobster every day of the week. I was tricking Red Lobster. She said, this tastes so good. I'm like, eat. Keep eating. I'm trying to get her aroused. You get nervous, my phone bill might cut. My house is going to foreclosure. What do? You bite your nails, you're nervous. Nails are crunchy. Therefore, nervousness corresponds with that which is crunchy. That which is crunchy is normally saturated in oil. So if you don't get rid of that which is making you nervous, you're going to eat a bunch of chips or fried foods, and you're going to wind up with prostate cancer and womb cancer. Because your life makes you nervous, so it causes you to want to eat something crunchy. And that which is crunchy is in too much oil. So then your cholesterol goes up. All because of your phone bill. And all because your student loan. And all because your foreclosure. And your sexual life isn't right. So then after you eat your crunchy food, now you gotta eat a bunch of fish. Subject to mercury and things of that nature. And you're so depressed, you become a burden to yourself, therefore you're a burden to the people trying to love you, so now nobody want to deal with you no more. So now you beseech love, so you're sweet too. I just got a craving. Gotta eat sugar. So we don't resolve the emotional problems we have. It's going to create the stimulus for what we call an appetite. And if that appetite should persist, it'll transmute into disease. Because too much of anything isn't good. Y'all walking with me? Yeah. So this is true. So you say, man, how do we fix the situation? You can eat all the good food on the planet. to avoid the toxins that destroy you or plague you. But if you don't change your environment, you're going to wind up subject to the same disease. Sometimes I see healthy people say, I don't even understand how I got this disease. I'm eating nothing but kale and okra. This is what they do. Why am I sick? I'm eating kale and okra. Because your wife make you sick. Because your husband make you sick. Because the energy that they harness helps you produce the same toxins inside of you that you're trying to avoid from the food that you've been eating. Your environment can have you stress and produce the same chemicals you're trying to avoid when you eat the right food. People can make you sick. Situations can make you sick. Just being around the wrong energy and attitude. I'll give you an example. Okay? When a person gets too upset, they get very angry, they get very hot, heat rises. Your brain is 52 ounces and it rests on water. The body is electric. Okay? When you breathe in oxygen, oxygen attaches itself to protein that has been broken down into amino acids, and upon contact, it explodes and in essence creates natural electricity to flow from the spine to the brain. Keeps you alive. But water is a superconductor of electricity, so it makes sense that we should have water by the brain. But when a person gets angry, heat rises. So when heat rises, it pulls away from the water that the brain is resting on. Thus you short circuit. So you might find yourself with your cell phone in your hand, talking to somebody, cursing up a storm, angry, and you say, I can't stand you. Bah! You just broke your iPhone. And the worst part about it is, you're looking like, who's going to clean it up? And you the one that did it. You had a short circuit. But what does all this have to do with everything else, with people becoming your disease? When a person gets real angry, it causes electrons to thrust out their outermost valence. So in the immediate valence, only two electrons can occupy the space in the first valence of an atom. Outside of that first valence, every other valence can only hold 8. They can covalently bond, which is to share an electron, which is polygamy for atoms, or it can ionically bond, catch an electron, and become a new element. When a person gets upset, okay, your body, to maintain its pH, has chloride in it, or chlorine, you know what I'm saying? So they put in the water in pools to not compromise the integrity of the health mission, to make sure that certain life forms that are parasitic to you can't thrive in that alkalinity. But when you get too upset, the sodium in the body raises. Sodium is a form of salt. And then what happens when you get too angry, the electrons start being thrusted off the sodium. So thus they look for the first thing they can attach to, which is the chlorine by nature, because you're full of water. So NaCl becomes table salt. So when you start acting funny or angry, niggas in the South say you acting salty. And I always wonder, how did they do that without the chemistry class? I done went years of study for a nigga to just turn around and say you acting salty. I'm like, you a genius. Sodium chloride. When you get too angry, and that's why your blood pressure rises when you get angry, because you're producing salt, and too much salt causes your blood pressure to rise. But who would have thought you can make the salt based on emotion? Who would have thought this? That you're actually making your seasonings and your spices without eating. So when we talk about holistic health, it's more than what's put into your mouth. It's what you subject yourself to. The people, the places, and the things you surround yourself with can make you just as sick. You can be the most healthiest eating person in the world. But if you don't like your financial paradigm, you be plagued with disease because you will produce the same chemicals that you're trying to avoid when you're eating good food. I once went into an elevator with one of my brothers who's part of the Black Power community, and there were about 3-4 white people in the elevator, and it was myself and my Black Power friend. And when I walked into the elevator, I said hi to everybody. I said, how are you doing? And everybody started opening up. 2 Caucasians answered, 1 Caucasian didn't. The one that didn't, I said, excuse me, what's your name? So he told me his name. I said, where you from? So how did you get here? We in a hotel. He tells me how. I said, so what floor you going on? I'm getting off at this floor. I hope you have a nice day. Closed out. So when everybody left, and I'm with my Black Power friend, he says, why you being so friendly with these goddamn crackers? So I say, if you were so angry with them, why you ain't smacked the hell out of them when they was all on the elevator? What you put so much pressure on me for? So he says, why you kiss their ass, man? Why a nigga want to know how they feel? I said, I'm acknowledging life, they exist. I didn't want to disrespect myself. Just because they may have did things on a lower frequency, why I gotta reduce myself to that low frequency? I'm God. I'm just watching out for my creation. They still are offspring of us, you know. There's some baby kids. Them white folks is out of control. They are out of control. But just because they're out of control don't mean we have to be out of control. We have to preside as God. We can't be the same animals they are. We have to have God overstanding and saying, I know why you behave the way you do. I'll give you one example. 90% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. One of the corresponding detriments of vitamin D deficiency is depression and anxiety. This is what happens when you're vitamin D deficient. The #1 place you can get your vitamin D is from the sun. In fact, all vitamins are produced naturally from sun exposure during select hours of the day. When you get it in supplement form, you're supplanting the immediate source. Why is this important? Well, if Caucasians are having a problem staying in the sun, then that would mean if 90% of Americans are vitamin D deficient, that would mean 90% of Americans are most likely suffering from depression, stress, and anxiety. If you happen to be Caucasian and you can't be subject to the sun spectrum under normal circumstances and conditions, what do you suppose, what kind of temperament you think that Caucasians have? By nature. By nature, they have to be stressed out, over anxious. Wall Street crash, they jump off the building. How come we don't respond to the world like that? We can eat fried rice and 2 chicken wings and feel good about it because they're doing a free 50-cent soda. But if the white man had to live like that for one day, he'd jump off the building. Well, you see, by nature, that's how he is. I ain't gonna hate you because of your nature. If a lion eats one of my family members, I'm not gonna start hating lions and start trying to gangbang on lions because a lion is a lion. So the white man is the white man. I'm not overwhelmed by the reality no more. And I understand why things are the way it is. We have a circadian rhythm. And at certain hours of the day, it's prescribed moments in time where certain foods and certain demonstrations of life is more conducive. This is true. If you eat past 10:30, based on the human's circadian rhythm, your body decides, I'm not going to digest or break down food no more until tomorrow. Starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to clock back in. So if you want to eat after 10:30, what we're going to do is just store that shit in the colon or something. And you got cheese in there since you was 3 years old, right up in your colon. Because it compacts you. We can take a person's intestines and spread it around this room. So if you're eating after 10:30 p.m., your body, your cells have said, well, I'm clocking out whether you keep eating or not. So then I look at the black community and I see all these stores, the chicken spot open 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, niggas is eating chicken at 3 in the morning. Boneless chicken at that. And I'm gonna ask y'all a question. When is the last time you seen your chicken spot get a chicken delivery? Yeah, this shit can start to get scary. It's like a horror film about to happen right now. When's the last time the chicken spot got a chicken delivery? Because these guys are selling chicken from 9 in the morning to 4 in the morning. And no truck is dropping off no chicken. Are they in the basement cloning this shit? Where are they getting the chicken from? And another question is this. How the hell can you sell all those wings and not that much breast? Are you growing chicken with only wings as an identity? Someone said, oh my God, you know we love chicken. Last time I went on this shit, I got chased out. I started teaching this chicken shit in the conscious community. I tried to teach this to some bozos in the projects. It wasn't working out. They was pulling guns out. I got real ugly up in there. This is only my 3rd try with this chicken demonstration. So I'm asking y'all to be patient with me. Cause I'm not trying to offend nobody in here. So I say, oh my God. I'm like, that's the shit I heard last time I got chased out after this chicken demonstration. Now I'm paranoid as hell. I'm risking my life up here when I start talking to people about chicken. I'm so serious. Y'all think it's funny. I am risking my life. The more I talk about chicken, I see some people wigging out right now. I see their eyes twitching. You better go on and talk about that white man. Leave my mother as a chicken alone. No, food has become a religion. Even the teachers start gangbanging on each other. Like, nigga, we repping broccoli, nigga. I'm thinking he doing a blood sign. He repping broccoli. And somebody else is like, that shit is acidic. Then we doing carrots over here. I think it's blood and cribs. Shit is carrots and broccoli. And now we gotta be divided because of the foods now. Now we so smart, we done got so technical. Now we banging on each other because what type of veggies we eat. We are dangerous people when it comes to information. But I'm telling you, the food thing is so serious. When's the last time you seen a shootout at Whole Foods? You see, it's funny because it's actually true. I mean, chicken spots, since they came into the community, they've been having shootouts right around the chicken spot. Tape is always around the chicken spot. People outlining chalk with the chicken in their hand. I've seen an outline, and I'm like, is that a drumstick in the outline? They got killed with a drumstick in his hand. But you go to Whole Foods, and you don't see this kind of violence where they're selling whole grains like kamut, amaranth, and spelt, and teff. But you find where they sell 50-cent sodas. And where they sell chicken at chicken spots that don't get chicken deliveries. That there's a direct correlation between bad food consumption and bad thinking. Anywhere you see bad food sold in a community, you see the thinking or the frequency of the people are very low too. It's real interesting. Trace minerals. There's the thing about the real vampires of this day and time. They'll have you go to work, and most times you can't get a job until you go into Midtown Manhattan or in the city. You can't get a job in your own neighborhood, which is weird, because the people who own the businesses don't look like you, and they don't hire you, but we still patronize them. All of that is very weird. So normally you have to go out of your community to get a job, and they make you go to work where you have to leave at 5 or 6 in the morning when it's still dark outside. Then when it's lunchtime, they got skyscrapers scraping the sky. They're blocking the sun. So when you do get your afternoon lunch, you ain't getting sufficient sunlight. And then when you get off of work, it's dark. And then when you get some social time, you go to the club. And when you go to the club, it's dark. And you hang out for long hours. And you hope that the sun don't come up, because then you ain't gonna get no sleep if the sun come up. So you rush in your house to make sure you get in before it's dark. So you're getting the lunar spectrum, you're getting the moon spectrum. But you're not getting the full spectrum of the sun, because the moon isn't a luminescent body by itself. It gets its light and its momentum from the sun. So why is this so very important? Because if you're only getting the moon spectrum, like Monday is lunar, moon, you become a lunatic because you're not getting the full spectrum of the sun. So you might find yourself in the club actually throwing bows. I remember when the song came out. I'm thinking this shit figurative. Nigga elbowed me in my chest. I'm like, what kind of music is this? Someone can get hurt. Throw those bows. I'm like, you really gonna throw bows? They had a nigga named Mystical out back in the day. And he's like, whoa, bitch, you better not jump in front of my tour bus. So I'm like, what we gonna do now? We gonna actually rent tour buses to drive over bitches? Like, what is the mentality? Or chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side. What kind of music is this? I had a rough childhood. I ate mayonnaise sandwiches. Raise your hand if you ate a mayonnaise sandwich back in the day. Now, the people who raising their hand, have you ever had chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side? Ain't that much poverty in the world to reduce yourself to some shit like that. Hey, ketchup sandwiches, mayonnaise sandwiches, but I never looked at soup and soda and said those two go together. You know when you pour, you take shit like the canned beans, you start pouring syrup in it and cutting onions and putting basil and everything, like you really in a restaurant with canned beans and shit. That's when you know it hurts. When you chefing it with some ramen noodles and putting bell peppers and shit in the ramen noodles to try to lie to yourself that I don't need that packet. I can do something with these ramen noodles way better than that. We have to produce gods again. We have to produce gods again. And one of the main reasons I don't, oh thank you brother, one of the main reasons I don't make subscriptions to religions is because they invest a lot of our potential, our genius, our brilliance into one figure. Thus you disassociate that potential from yourself. I invest everything into Jesus. And everybody else that was fly died already. And anybody else that's going to be fly has to come back. So where does that leave me at? But I know in the doctrine, where the gods manifest in the flesh, if I see you do it, then surely I know I can do it myself. But in order to produce gods again, we do have to have a holistic approach. We do have to change our health paradigm. But I look at sports and entertainment and I say, sports is deep. I'm seeing something in sports that tells me about our people. But we have to start challenging each other in intellectual ways. So let's play this. This is the only slide I have, a one slide PowerPoint. So we see when people first started dunking, this is how they looked. Look at old school do they dunks. Then they started jumping higher. Then we started throwing alley-oops. But niggas was like, yo, the next generation said, if they can do that, I can do this. So this dude does a 360, throws the ball in between his legs and dunks the ball. He's possessed. Look at this guy. But that's not even enough. Look at him. That's not even enough. So soon another brother comes, he gets the ball and says, fuck it, I'm gonna just jump over somebody. He's 7 foot tall. And look, he's possessed. I'm gonna jump over him. So I'm like, that's God. And how did that get started? From a simple layup. And someone seen someone do the layup. So someone dunked, and someone seen someone do the dunk, and they said, well, I'm gonna jump higher. And someone seen someone jump higher and said, I'm gonna catch the alley-oop. And someone seen alley-oop and said, I'm gonna jump in the air, put it through my legs, and spin, and then dunk. Then someone else seen that and said, the only way I can top that is if I just jump completely over a human being. And I don't know what niggas is gonna do in 2014. But I'm saying if we challenge each other like this intellectually, who writes the most books? Who speaks the most languages? Imagine what will become of us. Imagine it. Play it one more time for close. Just imagine. Look at this and conceptualize. If we took it to this level mentally, say I saw Dr. York as my teacher, he wrote 400 plus books, spoke over 16 languages. I said, if he could do it, he's a human being, I definitely could do it. So I came out with my 83rd book yesterday. And I speak 8 languages, one of which I created. My book for the languages over here. Go ahead, start from the beginning, baby. So I just want you to look at this and think about what we can do. This is how we started, just dunking. And look how they feeling themselves. Look at, he just jumped higher, he feeling himself. and he caught it in the air. He thought he was top shit. Look at him. The white people loving it. Look at him. Mike did his thing. Then he go and he crushed everybody. He do a 360 in the air, ball through the legs, tongue. And just when he thought he was on top of the world, just when he thought he was on top of the world, look at that. That's insane. Then you're gonna have this happen. Someone's gonna jump over somebody's head. And as I said, he's possessed. You have to be possessed to even, who would think like this? Who would just think, well, in the middle there, I just have to go hide. Who would think like that? But imagine us mentally. That's what we was in Egypt. We was mental giants. We were mental giants. Do you know there's a little over 600 muscles in the human body? And guess what? Exercise causes you to use more than half of it. Unlike, you can do swimming. If it was possible for you to swim, do pull-ups, do push-ups, and do dips, you still couldn't make it to this exercise. There's a little over 600 muscles in the human body. Guess how much muscles it takes to meditate? More than 300 plus. No other exercise on the planet requires more muscle than staying still. The only thing second to that is reading. Because the amount of muscle, the amount of cellular concentration it takes to stay still and focus on one thing. You see, when you're driving, you're also talking to people and doing multiple things. When you're exercising, you're also doing that and think about yourself doing multiple things. But when you're reading, that's outside the body. And in order to control outside the body experiences, you have to have a certain level of control over the muscles in the human body. It takes over 300 muscles to meditate and over 300 muscles to read. No other exercise on the planet requires that much muscle work. So in the realm of mental geniuses, you will have slim people kick your ass. You have all these muscles and wouldn't even know. The mental bodybuilders are the ones that can defeat you, perhaps without a touch. So I'd like to thank you for your time, your energy, your patience, and hope you learned a lot.
Don't forget to be with Automatics this coming Wednesday. Absolutely free at the Automatics UAM.
Wednesday morning, before I go to the Maddox spot in the evening, I'll be in a juvenile prison in the morning in Brownsville. And just understand that they actually build prisons and pick it up. They actually build prisons in the neighborhood, Crossroads. So I'm going to be in there. I give away free books every time I check the youth out. These are 12 to 16-year-old young men that are incarcerated in their own community. Imagine the psychology. You come out your house, you see the chicken spot, you also see the local prison. Chicken spot is right there. And then the prison is right there, and then your home is right here. And McDonald's across the street. Think about that psychologically, what it's telling you as a young child when there's a prison right in your neighborhood. You ain't going to school, you're going to prison. So I'm going there, anybody that's interested in getting in contact, just come stay with us, we'll show love, support. I got a 2-3 hour class they allow me to do in there. The material is free. Come with valid IDs, but we have to show love to them brothers. We can't leave them out there. My wives go to the juvenile facility, detention centers for the sisters, and we give out rich mom, poor mom books, financial fiance, and my wives talk to them and build with them. Come out and reach out to these brothers and sisters, because a lot of them don't have family around them accessible to them. They got to feel the extension of the extended family. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's this Wednesday.
This Wednesday at 12 in the morning. If you're going, it's right there on Picket Avenue. What street is that? I forgot that street there.